Nan Simonson. I want to invite you into my kitchen. I'm making dessert for tonight. We're having my favorite coconut stir fry. It's a spicy dish that I'm crazy about. We eat it at least, I was going to say once a week, maybe 3 times a month. And we always have so much left over that we get an additional meal from it. I serve it with either brown jasmine rice or brown basmati rice or whatever rice we have around. It's delicious, and that's all I serve. Well, it's nice to have a cool, fruity dessert, and most of the time, dessert here is just fresh fruit. But I wanted to make this because I'm going to do a cooking class for the Lifestyle Medical Clinic with which I work. And I want a picture of it in advance of doing the demonstration next Tuesday. We attach a photo with the recipes for our patients. And I'm therefore making this wonderful mango chia dessert. I'll call it pudding. And it is so healthy because I'm using soy milk, which has 8 grams of protein per cup. That's as much as milk. I am whole food plant-based, have been for almost 3 years. That means no animal product at all. That means no milk. We are all healthier, believe it or not, without milk. And I won't get into why. These are things that we teach through lifestyle medicine, but we don't require or dictate, but we have our recommendations, and the recommendations are a whole food plant-based diet. So 2 cups of soy milk, it could be almond, it could be cashew, it could be oat milk, up to you. But I wanted some protein in this because I want to have it for breakfast, possibly. And then I have 7 ounces of frozen mango, and that was easy. It didn't have to be frozen. I could have chunked up my own mango, but I just bought it. It's very inexpensive from a lot of markets. This one happens to be organic, which is my preference. That assures me that they're not spraying it with things I don't want in my body. And then I'm going to be adding for sweetener. I could have added maple syrup, but I'm using date paste because whole food plant-based, or as close to that as you can get, means that we're not using processed foods. And the date paste is dates. Dates that are whirled up in a blender with some water. I have the recipe for that on my website, nansimonson.com. And this is on my website as well, as are a number of recipes like the one I just mentioned, the coconut spicy stir fry. So the thing that makes this, that kicks it up a notch in terms of nutrition, is this the chia seed. Chia seed is a tiny little seed that's a powerhouse. 2 tablespoons of it has 8 grams of protein, 5 grams of, let me make sure I get this right, 8 grams of I got it wrong. 8 grams of fiber and 4 grams of omega-3 fatty acids, and where is the protein? Oh, and 5 grams of protein. So if I put these 2 together and I have a half a cup of that in the morning, I'm getting probably 8 grams of protein for breakfast. We don't have to go out of our way to worry about protein on a whole food plant-based diet. All fruits, well, not fruits as much as vegetables, grains, legumes, seeds and nuts, they all have protein. And if we eat enough to nourish ourselves well enough to maintain our weight, we're going to get enough protein on a varied whole food plant-based diet. But to have some additional enrichment of our omega-3s as well as fiber, that's a great idea. So let me show you how to put this together. Easy. 2 cups of plant-based milk, whatever you decide to choose. I'm going to add to that 2 to 3 tablespoons, and in this case I added 3, of either maple syrup, which I prefer to use date paste instead of. Then I'm adding 7 ounces of mango. And when I took this out of the refrigerator. It was out, or out of the freezer. It was out for a while, and I was able to get it soft enough to kind of break it up to see that this is 1 cup of mango pushed into a 1 cup measure. If it were frozen in little chunks, it might stand up a little. If it were in larger chunks and the chunks were irregular, it might stand up a lot. I'm just saying that because otherwise it's a little tricky trying to decide how much to use. I'm going to add to it 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I also have a pure vanilla powder, which is just seeds that are ground up. Oh, that is phenomenal. But I think we are going to have so much flavor from these other ingredients. I don't know that I would have known the difference. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and we don't recommend adding salt to foods unless it's just the smallest amount, and even then, somebody who has cardiovascular problems, high blood pressure, would be better off ignoring that part of it. But I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I got this recipe from the T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. I received a certification in plant-based nutrition from the T. Colin Campbell Center of Nutritional Studies at Cornell University. And I get recipes from them on a regular basis, and this looked fantastic and I wanted to share it. And I'm going to put the cover on, blend it. Let's see. Sorry for the noise. That's enough. Ooh, it's a pretty color. In the blender container, it looks kind of brown, but no, it's not. It's a pretty kind of an apricot color. And get this out of the way. Now, I didn't grind up the seeds in there because I don't want to grind them up. I'm going to mix them in. I'm going to mix them in here. I could have mixed them in the bowl, but I want the bowl to stay really nice, as opposed to looking like a mixing bowl with the product in it all over its sides. All right. 1/2 cup of chia seed. Now, do you know what chia seed does? Well, if you've ever spilled any in your sink, you'll know. It becomes viscous, and that's why it works so well in a pudding or to thicken anything, because it becomes, again, viscous and will sort of congeal. And that's a great way to get a pudding without having to use a flour or a cornstarch or heat up something with pectin. And again, look at the nutrition that you're adding. Protein, high amounts of fiber, omega-3, fatty acids. And I decided if we're going to serve something tonight for dinner, I'm going to make it pretty. And so this is a pretty little crystal bowl. Oh, this is going to be so good. I'm going to use my other hand because I am left-handed and my right one doesn't work that well. All right, I'll just leave the rest in here. We're fine. I say that and then I just keep going, don't I? Okay, we've got enough. Okay. The recipe actually recommends stirring it in the mixing bowl, but I didn't for the reasons I explained, even though it may not have made a difference. Okay, now this will go in the refrigerator, and an hour from now, hour and a half, whatever, I'm going to go back in and stir it. I'll show you the finished product by scooping it out, maybe serving it with some fresh grapes, serving it with some additional fruit. I can't really turn it here. I'm going to turn the camera down, and you can see that it's a lovely pudding with these little dark bits. I'll come back and include you in the stirring process. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip together a couple of videos, and I'll stir it, and then I'll serve it when it's cold and more congealed, and then you can celebrate with me the finished product. I hope you're having a great day, because I know I am. And let me mention that my beliefs about, and they're not just mine, and the evidence involved about aging powerfully. I just turned 74 months ago. I intend to have another possibly 10, 20, 30 years ahead of me by living with the dictates of lifestyle as medicine. That means moving on a regular basis, that means exercising, sleeping, and I'll say stress relief, and that means exercising, some meditation, keeping community and people around me. That's great for everything in us, including our cognition. When we know we matter and to others and others matter to us, it actually helps your entire, not only physiology, but it also helps your neurotransmitters and therefore your brain. And then finally, eating for nutrition and for lifelong health. And that is, as I said, as close to whole food plant-based as we can get. But if nothing else, just make sure you're eating at least 6 to 9 fruits and vegetables a day. That's a start. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hello, I'm back. All right, it's been an hour. The pudding has set up to the degree that I can even do this. The whole thing will slide right out, but it is well congealed. Not as well as it will be when it really cools down. I tasted it. Oh, it's lovely. Very mild, slightly sweet. If you're used to processed foods and you're used to super saturated sugary stuff, this isn't going to hold up to a apple fritter. But if you are, well, like me, whole food, plant-based, very little processed anything, and certainly not store-bought sweets, this was heaven. It was, again, slightly sweet, fruity, cool, with the, and what's happening is that the chia seed is working its way through every bit of the pudding. So it's becoming homogeneous. All right, I'm gonna taste it. That is so nice. Yum, yum. Okay, I'm gonna love this. I hope you do too, but I will be back to you with the end result during dinner, and that will be a few hours, so it'll have a chance to really set up well. This is a great dessert for children. Not even a dessert, here you just got home from school or soccer or baseball. Eat this, not something out of a package that has as much sugar as a Snicker bar, and yet the label says healthy, whole grain. This is whole grain. Anyway, be back. Hi, I'm back. So it's been a couple of hours. It had been about 2.5 hours. I pulled this out of the refrigerator. You'll see on the recipe that it recommends letting it set for 6 hours and then serving or overnight. And it's quite a bit thicker. The chia seed has expanded, and it is creamy and beautiful. It's, well, let me just serve it, and then we'll talk about the taste. I cheated, so I know, but I won't get into that until I can show you. All right, I sliced some kiwi. Kiwi has a very bright, clean flavor, which goes well with tropical fruit like this. And what did this pudding have in it? This is so healthy. It's mango, soy milk, so you're getting some protein in there, or other plant milk, chia seed, as you know, now high in fiber and protein. And we'll add some blueberries for color. This would make a beautiful breakfast. This for me will be a dessert because I just finished a spicy coconut Thai stir fry that was delicious, and I've been looking forward to this for dessert. I'm going to sprinkle on what I like, which is some toasted slivered almonds for texture. I'll put a little bit of mint. Look at how pretty that is. And of course, the bottom line is the taste. Oh, this is wonderful. This is it's such a subtle pudding that any fruit you put with it, or if you simply want a light breakfast and you sprinkle over it some granola, or even some dry oats or some muesli for breakfast. For dessert, this is perfect. I could have shaved some chocolate on it, but I think that would be too decadent, when what I'm excited about is how pure this is. So, very well worth making. I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day, because I'm going to. Bye-bye.